Welcome to another episode of Little Talks, your weekly dose of marketing news and insights from Littlefield Agency.
Welcome back to another edition of Little Talks with Littlefield Agency. Sam Littlefield, Steve Roop, we are your co-hosts today. There is no Chelsea. She wouldn't want to be sandwiched in here.
No.
We like this setup. This is our, as you know, our second week of being here. We're getting really close to us actually moving into the podcast studio. But are we, though?
No, I want to push my date back to March 15th.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe by the time. So here's the deal, guys. They're supposed to have everything wrapped by the end of this week, and then we go into punch list items. Yeah.
I'm not seeing
Glasses up, carpets being rolled out.
I'm not seeing it.
Little bitty things. I think it's going to happen. What we have not done is we have not ordered furniture because we wanted to see the space. We didn't want to be preemptive in that and order the wrong equipment. So we might be out here a little bit longer until the podcast studio is ready to go. Brandon has some pretty dang good thoughts and ideas as we bring that studio to life. So stay tuned. I am headed to, did I tell you this? I'm on a plane this week.
Yeah.
For
big magnet deal, right?
We've got our Magnet board retreat. This is normally in Magnet. For those of you that do not know, it's an independently owned CEO network group. The beautiful thing is it's advertising agencies only. There's no Leo Burnett's. There's no WPPs. They are independently owned agencies. We meet 2 times a year. It rolls out to the staff. Our staff can be at different groups. You could be in a digital group.
I have been before.
You have been,
Yep.
so not currently. Anyway, I've been on the board for, this is my 4th or 5th year. And it's amazing. It is fraternal and sorority, like just in the sense of everyone's going through the same things, and how can you better your agency? How can you do better work for your clients? It's amazing. We've been in it for 35 years.
I feel like we do leverage the network
gosh.
quite a bit.
No, it's amazing. So I'm headed to Tampa, and we've got our annual board retreat. I've got another meeting. I'm back later this week, but it's my first plane of the year. I'm excited. I do my best thinking and best work on the plane, to be completely honest.
Sam, what does Magnet stand for?
Magnet is Marketing and Advertising Global Network.
Oh,
So technically,
just through the ET in there?
G,
Yeah.
that's Global Network.
Okay.
Yeah, Marketing and Advertising Global Network. I'm glad I know that as a board member. That's a good thing.
Well, we were going to edit it if you didn't.
And before we get into our one topic, we do have one piece of exciting news. We have secured our first podcast guest of the year, which is awesome. Brandon, see some excitement?
Yes.
His name, with the trumpets, his name is Scott Lloyd. Scott is a partner and basically head of sales for a B2B manufacturer up in Kansas City. And we're going to pick his brain in the sense of his stance as a salesman on marketing. For those of you in the B2B world that are listening to this, sales and marketing can some kind go.
Yeah. Well, how could sales and marketing and sales work better together?
Boy, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's going to be really interesting. So Scott, we're excited. That'll be January 24th here at the agency.
Is that next week?
Scott has that.
That is next week.
That is next week.
You coming right
So
up.
Scott, next week, man. We're going to see you in the next episode. Thank you. Golly, time's flying.
Yep.
Scott likes a good beer, so we're going to actually do this at a
Bishop Quigley's again?
We should go live from Bishop Quigley. Mike would love that.
You know,
that'd be awesome.
I know the guy that runs it. Maybe we could figure that out.
God, you're already in, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're there every night. You son of a gun. Oh, I'm so jealous. Your neighborhood bar. So anyhow, get excited about that. It'll be fun having him as our first guest of the year. And Roop and I have kind of sworn to each other, maybe a handshake agreement, that we're trying to get one podcast guest every quarter at least.
It's for you, the listener. You don't need us every week.
Kind of.
We're okay. But like if we can get a third person in here, it almost always elevates.
And statistically, through our podcast stats, our best podcasts
when we have a guest
are when they're a guest, or somehow when Chelsea Clement is on. And I hate to say that, but it's
we
truth,
have to count her as a guest.
Don't
I
lie
guess.
to anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, Roop's got a really interesting one, and I think this is just in good, whether you're in marketing, sales, if you're a CEO, or you are a college student. This is just good information, and Roop is going to talk you through our first topic of the day. Brandon.
Yeah, and per usual, you can see this in the POV section also of our website in a lot more depth than we're going to go over here in the podcast, but we're going to hit the highlights today. Today's topic is 6 PowerPoint or Keynote, depending on how you go, tips that will make you the envy of your office.
The envy of your office?
Well, yeah. So, like,
who doesn't like a good deck, good presentation?
It makes all the difference in communicating your message, Sam. So, if you use PowerPoint, that's fine. If you use Keynote, that's fine. I'm Keynote guy myself, but I use Keynote literally. I make animations. I do all kinds of stuff in Keynote.
I will
PowerPoint,
give you,
Google Slides. If you're in Google Slides,
I'll give
all
you
applies.
credit. Your keynotes are amazing.
I appreciate it.
I aspire to do your keynotes one day.
They're amazing until I pass them off to you to
I kind of
showing a staff meeting.
That's okay. Hey. This is a nice podcast.
That should be one of the tips. Oh, wait, I think your phone's going off.
Don't botch your staff meeting
Yeah.
by having a crappy keynote.
So,
Walk us through the 6 kind of treetop.
we'll do the treetop 6 tips, and there's 2 bonus tips. Tip 1 is start with a strong opening. You want a big, engaging visual, some thought-provoking question, a relevant anecdote that resonates your message. So you want to really kind of start big. I don't like to start with, here's the 20 things we're going to go over today.
Yeah.
Now I'm counting down the 20 things how long am I going to be in here? You don't need to do that. Just start with some big, strong story, big, strong opening, icebreaker situation is a good one. Tip 2, simplify your message. Avoid a lot of text. I have heard people say no more than 3 bullet points on a slide. And
Ding.
I really try to stick to that. It's hard sometimes. But
I have like 7 on mine. But it's a good point.
Yep.
You bring up 3s. There is a priest that I love. His name's Father Ryan. He's actually a big podcaster. And he is so successful in his homilies because he speaks in 3s. He opens up, I'm going to tell you 3 things today. A boom, a boom, a boom. He recaps, and here's the 3 things. Bada bing, bada
people
boom, you're
will
off. People remember that.
Speaks when you're presenting, you're speaking about the topic, and people are going to be this. What's on screen on your PowerPoint or Keynote or Google Slide is supporting what you're saying. So you don't want people reading, and you don't definitely want to turn around and start reading from the screen. That's the worst. Like, I'm not in 1st grade. I can read myself. I don't need to be read to. But if you can put 3 bullet points on there that kind of hit the highlights of what you're speaking to and understanding your topic enough that you can speak to it without having to resort to your deck, that's chef's kiss right there. Tip number 3, visual appeal matters. If you don't have photos or even better video or some sort of movement in your deck, I am done.
Think about the left brain and right brain, right?
Think,
you got to engage with an image and then speak to the points.
Would you rather read a tax form or would you rather read a comic book? Those are the only 2 options.
I hope there are no CPAs on the call today because they want the spreadsheet.
Visuals really do matter. It's a visual world. It's how we interact with everything on the internet and in life and TV and everything else. So, make sure you've got a few images to back up your concepts.
Yeah, and there's one thing. If we have we don't work with startups anymore. If there's any people that are in a startup mentality, the amount of presentations that I see from a CEO, a founder, et cetera, that have a little bitty image and 1,000 text points, it just doesn't resonate.
The reverse
and I know
is what you want.
It's your baby, it's your company, and I think I've seen a lot of salesmen, and I'm interested to hear Scott's perspective on this next week, but these sales guys, they're trying to give you all the features and benefits and everything in a 45-minute presentation, and it's information overload. It's too much.
Put that stuff in a leaf behind if you really have to have it.
Perfect.
But for your presentation, leave it out.
Perfect.
Number 4, consistent branding. Make sure your presentation has consistently branded elements on every page to create a polished and cohesive look. And this is pretty easy in the age of templates. Like, you can set up a template, make sure your logo's in the corner and the fonts are all the same and all that. But as I mentioned earlier, if you give that deck to someone else, their template may not match yours.
Hey.
And things may go off the rails.
Hey, come on, man. Those of you not watching, he's pointing at me.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Sam does good decks. You just don't want to co-deck with him is the thing. Tip number 5, master the art of storytelling. And this one's a little tougher, right? But sharing relevant anecdotes, case studies, or success stories that align with your message. And I like to say, imagine if you were to summarize the whole thing into a couple of sentences. What would those sentences? Would those sentences by themselves tell an interesting story?
Great point.
So if you've written, in movie terms, Brandon gets this. If you've written a 120-page script, and I ask you what your script's about, you don't get to read 120 pages to tell me about it. You have about 3 sentences maybe to hook me and get me interested. So that's kind of how you master the art of storytelling. How do you take a lot of information and get it down to something interesting and cohesive and that the user wants to hook into or the audience wants to hook into and ask you about? But to do that, you really got to know your topic, so you can't really fake it. Mm-hmm. That's important. Tip number 6, interactive elements. You can do polls, and a QA. You can do a QA session at the end. I do that a lot. Does anyone have questions? You can call on people. Yeah. That keeps them on their toes, so they're paying attention.
I don't like that.
but you can do it. So like,
It's like you're in college all over again.
yeah, the main thing though is making sure that you're involving your audience in the presentation and not just reading to them or speaking to them in a way that is like you're lecturing. Because a good deck or a good keynote or whatever is interactive. People are asking you questions, and hopefully you've imparted enough information to them through the art of storytelling, your visual appeals, and your message that they do have questions. Like that's how you know it worked and you got through on them.
The way I gauge a good presenter, whether it's sales, whether it's marketing, whether you're the founder or CEO, is halfway through your presentation, am I still engaged? Or am I wondering, when is Roop going to be done? Is he going to be wrapping soon? I've got another 30 minutes? Do I have, like what am I, and that's another thing. Whether I give a presentation or if I'm in a staff meeting, I outline, hey guys, 30 minutes today.
Right.
I think that's really important. Or, hey, it's going to go the full hour. Set that expectation.
Yeah, knowing how long you've got is a big deal. And it's roughly breaks down to 1 slide per minute is how I kind of look at it. So if you've got 20 minutes, you can't have more than 15, 20 slides.
Well, and if you're doing a webinar, if you're live presenting, the poll is great, right? So, hey, I see that 70% believe in this, but guys, man, this 30%, I'm actually surprised. If anybody out here in the audience of that 30% would like to vocalize, and if not, let's have a conversation after. There's so many, that back and forth is so essential. And important.
Makes people feel good.
Yeah, this is really good. I actually, weirdly enough, and it's timely, I'm on a TikTok algorithm thing, and it's these notable speakers. It's how to be a great speaker. Maybe it just heard us talking about this as we were prepping this week.
This will be on TikTok. So
and this will be on TikTok. And this one guy said, what do most speakers do when they come and they open? Whether they're walking onto a stage, whether you're in an auditorium, whether you're in an intimate group with 10 people, is they're introducing this. They're talking, and he goes, before you start a presentation, be silent. Let there be that silence. Make eye contact. Hello, I'm Sam Littlefield. I'm president and CEO of Littlefield Agency. I'm excited to have you today. And I've got 30 minutes with you, and I've got 3 main points. At the end of the day, you're going to take away X, Y, and Z. Awesome, right?
Yeah.
But it was really interesting because he came,
way to start.
And even that silence that we just had here, right? I can feel Roop looking at me.
Yeah, I was wondering if you're going to keep saying anything.
I think you thought that I was having a brain fart.
Also that, yeah.
And I wasn't.
I know.
But it really interesting, right?
So you just proved the point. You did the point.
I made the point.
Yeah, it was very interactive.
But this is great. I think this is just...
One more bonus tip.
Is there one more bonus tip?
There's one more bonus tip. We had 6, but there's a 7th. There's a bonus tip.
It's a great bonus tip.
Practice makes perfect, so practice your deck. But too much practice will make you dull. So if you have
over-rehearsed is no bueno.
If you have over-rehearsed it and you go to present it, you're trying to remember those moments that you screwed up or that you're like, oh, make sure you say this thing or whatever. And then that will throw you off. That will throw you off your game. Just run through it a couple times. Hopefully you do. Understand the topic, understand all your stories and things. But it's going to feel a lot more natural when you do it organically. And you're not reading from the screen behind you. You're reading some bullet points on a one sheet you got in front of you.
That is a wonderful bonus tip. Whether we're pitching a new client or whether we have a huge presentation for a current client, we always have a final dress rehearsal.
Yep.
Usually 2 days before. It's not the day of. It's not the day. Sometimes the day before, given timing. And it is treetop. Let's do this. Here's our focuses. And then I always say, and this is my big belief, it is good to feel a little nerves.
Yes.
It's good. That means you want it, you're excited.
Yep.
But I always tell our team, guys, at the end of the day, and this is more on the pitch front, not with clients. On the pitch front, we have nothing to frickin' lose. Let's go out there and have a blast.
Yeah.
And when you have fun and you can tell that you're passionate about whatever you're presenting on, it is so engaging and fun for your audience, and that's the most important thing.
So practice, but don't overdo it.
Exactly.
And you're going to have a great point. It's going to set you in the right mood to do your deck.
So go forth and speak and present. Be authoritative. Have fun. Not over-rehearsed.
Yeah.
And there's your 6 tips. We'll write these up. These will be on our website, littlefieldagency.com, under our POV section.
Yep.
All right.
Maybe they're already. I'm not sure. I did some of these before Christmas. I don't remember.
You're a good man. Okay, thank you guys. As always, we will catch you next week with Scott Lloyd. We are excited.
Yeah.
Over and out.
Adios.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap. We hope you've enjoyed our little chat and found ways to grow your own marketing strategies. Remember to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and follow us on social media @Littlefield Agency.